Let's run it back in time. 1985, Mike Tyson has just made his professional fighting debut at the ripe age of 18. There's a whole lot going on with the Geneva Convention, and my Bullnose F250 was born in the States. And this right here is a 2025 F150 Lariat. And you're probably wondering, what the hell are we doing in a paddock with both of these blue beauties? Well, in today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at exactly what's changed in the 40 years since my F250 was created and this F150 was born 2025. Now, there's a lot of similarities, but there is a lot of differences. Both of these cars can tow 4.5 ton. Both of these are on chromies. Both of these were built and designed in America and are now sat here on an Australian shore. We've got a lot to talk about in this episode. So let's take a look down memory lane and compare apples and apples, I guess. Now, it's not a 100% fair comparison, there's no denying that. This F250 of mine has had a couple of tweaks and modifications along the way. If you're up to date on the episodes, I don't need to tell you, but I'm going to anyway. 5.5 inch Skyjacker kit, 35 inch Maxxis razors, these gorgeous American Racing Baja AR172 rims from Automotive Superstore. We've done a whole bunch of other bits and pieces, steering dampener, brand new Holley carburetor, and a whole lot of mechanical overhauling to make this thing a gorgeous daily. Now, the spec of this car, a 1985 Ford F250 Super Cab XLT Lariat, long wheelbase, long bed. Ha, bloody mouthful, let me tell you. And it's not a 100% fair comparison because this is obviously going to be a bigger car than this guy right here. This is a 2025 Ford F150 Lariat short wheelbase. These are available in a long wheelbase, but I wasn't going to get the long wheelbase because as a daily, it's a little bit impractical. I have a land yacht as it is, I didn't need another one. So we went with the short wheelbase. You can get these in a long wheelbase with the longer bed too, but honestly for around town, the short wheelbase I think is a way better package. This is right-hand drive. Came over to Australia left-hand drive, but was converted by Ford Australia, whereas this old girl came from Portland, Oregon originally, and has remained left-hand drive all its life. Now, there are a stack of differences between these two cars, but there's also a whole heap of similarities. In this episode, I'm going to talk about the exterior styling, interior package, the power plants, the driveline, and the overall carrying and tow capacity. I think it's really interesting. Not a lot has changed, but also heaps has changed. If you get my drift, let's talk about it. Now, when it comes to the Lariat badging on F-Trucks, it's pretty much as high a spec as you're going to get. There's obviously things like the Platinums, but we don't get those here in Australia. So the Lariat is the top dog in terms of the F-Truck lineup that's available through Ford Australia. That car right there is an XLT Lariat. So similar, but a little bit different. That started life as an XLT, and then whoever ordered it back in the 80s has thrown a heap of options at it so that it got the Lariat badge. That means things like vacuum cruise control, factory AC, factory power steering. We've got the handling package thrown on that vehicle. There's a whole lot of options and boxes that the original purchaser would have spec'd to basically effectively turn it into a Lariat. For the sake of this video, they're both Lariats. Now, what's really cool is that even though these are 40 years apart and a whole lot of different models and iterations between them, there's a lot of very similar design elements that have carried through the entire lineup, which is epic to see because I think that is a badass looking vehicle, but similarly, this is a badass looking vehicle. Let's talk about it. The front ends of these cars, very similar. You're gonna see a massive squared off front end, squared off guards, and a whole lot of light and grille up the front. Exactly the same as they did in the 80s. They've sort of carried that theme across. You'll see on the Lariats, more so than the XLTs and XLs, is a whole heap of chrome, which is really, really reminiscent of all the Lariat sort of higher spec options. Back in the 70s and 80s, and even the OBS style trucks, chrome everywhere was a thing. And to see it carried through on the new F-Truck lineup here, there's a whole lot of chrome going on. I really like. I know a lot of people don't love chrome, but I think for a stock car like this, that's a Lariat, it's a really high spec car, it's over $140,000, it's basically a luxury SUV with a ute. I think it's kind of cool. I think it kind of suits it. I don't love the rims, but they are massive, so they can stay. Now, up the front, chrome grille, chrome bumper, massive headlights. This obviously gets the big fancy DRLs and the LEDs and that sort of thing. That doesn't, although we have done some indicated bits and pieces to that. You'll see there, we've got the overriders, we've got the big chrome bumper and the chrome trim and all that sort of jazz. You'll also notice that on the F-Truck in the 80s, see the antenna location? And you'll see the antenna location here, both sort of guard mounted. So it's really cool. They've kept a lot of the design aspects very similar for the past 40 years. And I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They sold a shitload of those and they're selling a ton of these. So keep it that way. If you walk down the side of this new one and you compare it to what you remember from the old one, you'll see chrome mirrors, chrome badging, chrome running boards. Yeah, in the 80s, chrome mirrors, chrome badging, chrome running boards. You come down here, oh, what's that? Chrome door handles. That's crazy, man. Guess what? Chrome door handles. The XLT and the Lariat, or the Lariat package specifically, gets all these chrome details. If you didn't have these, if you had the XLT F-Truck, for example, nah. Black mirror caps, black door handles, a whole lot less chrome. You don't get the chrome rims, you don't get the whole lot of chrome badging. It's a very different looking truck. A very different looking truck. Anyway, let's come back to the middle. I want to talk about weight carrying capacities and curb weight, because this is going to blow your freaking mind. Now let's talk the weight carrying capacities and curb weight. This I think is really going to blow your minds, potentially ruffle some feathers, because I'm going to drag Ford Ranger Raptor owners into this. Now, let's talk about the Super Cab Long Dog. This is a surprisingly light vehicle. I'm going to take a second, just one little second, for you guys right now quickly to comment below how much you think this vehicle weighs. Its curb weight. It's big, it's wide, it's American. You'd think pretty heavy. You've left your comment? While you're here, you may as well subscribe too. I'll give you an extra second. Subscribe. Thank you. This thing weighs 1.9 ton curb weight. That's right. Not even 2 ton. I don't know, like, it's mind-blowing to me. I guess because it's the 4x2, it doesn't have all the weight of the front diff. It's a C-frame chassis, not a full box section, so you're gonna be saving hundreds of kilos there. It is surprisingly light, and you actually do feel it as well. It doesn't handle like a big, you know, it actually handles sort of comparatively to this, which is a much newer vehicle. It's very nimble on the road, albeit with a shocking turning circle, but you don't feel that big cumbersome weight, especially with the sway bars front and rear in this thing, which wasn't a standard factory thing, it was an option. So, 1.9 ton. This thing has a payload of, I don't know, 2 ton or something ridiculous in that gigantic 8-foot tray, and it's about 2 meters wide. It's insane. It's like 6'8". I don't know what it is. It's freaking wide, man, and 133-inch wheelbase. We're not going to talk too much about wheelbase because obviously this is the long wheel, that's the short wheel, so not super comparable. But massive payload, 4.5 ton tow capacity off the back, or 6 ton if you fifth wheel it. This tub has had the fifth wheel cut out and then replated at some point. I don't know how much towing this vehicle would have done in its life. When we bought it, it had air shocks. In the back, it had leaf spring helpers. It had a whole bunch of bits and pieces. So I dare say it has done some towing. This vehicle over here hasn't, because this is my brand spanker. Again, do you want to guess the weight, or should I just tell you? Maybe I'll just tell you. 2.4 ton. That's right, 2.4 ton. Now, you're probably thinking how. For starters, maybe you think, okay, well, that's actually pretty light. Well, yeah, it could be a lot heavier. The whole body, basically, aluminium, which means that this 2.4 ton F-Truck, massive, wide, big, long thing, weighs the same as a Ford Ranger Raptor, which is an all steel body, which is pretty crazy. Now, 4.5 ton towing capacity as well. I'm not 100% sure on the payload. I will put it in the episode here. But it isn't as much as that. Obviously, I think when you go the longer wheelbase and the longer beds and that sort of thing, you obviously are going to increase your payload and that sort of thing. These are 4-wheel drive, that is 4x2. That was a 4x4 option you could get. These are only 4x4. You can only get these in a 4-wheel drive vehicle. Now, let's talk engines. This I think is going to be really interesting for you guys. Over here, the F250, 7.5 litre, 460 cubic inch, big block Ford V8. It's a numbers matching car and a 4-speed manual. Over here, we have a 3.5 litre Ford EcoBoost V6 twin turbo, both petrol. But here is the absolutely redonkulous thing. 7.5 litres of American Fury, and I think we're getting, from memory, 245 horsepower. 245 horsepower. To put this in perspective, I recently test rode a Ducati motorcycle that had almost 220 horsepower, and that weighed 190 kilos. So I don't know what Ford were doing back in the day, but anyway, 245 horsepower, call it 400 Newton meters of torque. It's fairly underwhelming. The way it's geared makes it very nice to drive and very good at towing, but in terms of power, it's lacking. The Ford EcoBoost, 3.5 litre V6 twin turbo petrol, 399 horsepower and almost 700 Newton meters of torque with a 10-speed automatic transmission. Now, remember how I said that this car weighs basically the same as a Ranger Raptor? And now you remember me just saying just then that this has got more power than a Ranger Raptor? Crazy. I'm just saying, people sleeping on the F-150, man, but these things, it's like a sheep in wolf's clothing. You know what I mean? Or a wolf in sheep's... One of those sayings that really profound people would say on the internet, but this thing actually boot scoots, baby. It's a 10-speed auto, albeit it's a little bit lazier in the way that the auto delivers its power, I guess, compared to the Raptor, but still really quite cool. In the engine bay, you'll see a lot of space. Very nice. In here, not a lot of space. A lot of really gross emissions that Americans had to put in these things to get them even remotely legal on the roads, but nonetheless, both very different, both very cool. This weighs approximately 1 billion kilograms less than what this gigantic cast iron block V8 does, but it depends what you want. We're gonna start both cars up and we're gonna let you listen to them. This sounds pretty soft, this doesn't. But again, this is stock, this is modified. Let's quickly start them up and you can listen. Now, in terms of interior tech and styling, my car loses out, I'm not gonna lie to you. If you don't like velour, then this is probably the one for you. And I'd say the 40 years of development and design change has definitely done some solid favors to Ford, because stepping into my car is like licking your nan's armpit. I don't know, it's grim. This thing is super nice. Steering wheel controls, Bang & Olufsen speakers. You've got speakers here, speakers here, speakers here, like a billion speakers. Heated and cooled seats in the front, heated seats in the back, 12-inch digital display in front of you, 12-inch screen in the middle. You have a fold-down gear stick and then a table that could be used for work or, you know, roadhead or cocaine. I really don't know. It's whatever you want it to be used for, really. You've got a whole bunch of connectivity with this car. You got the Sync 4 system by Ford, so you can hook up your phone and do a whole bunch of remote start bits and bobs. You can do your Android Auto, you can do your CarPlay, you've got your aircon, you've got your nice power steering, you've got an electric handbrake, you've got electric seats, you've got electric mirrors, you've got a whole bunch of storage, you've got cup holders coming out your butthole, you've got a whole lot of cool stuff. You also have really big windows in the front doors here. They're massive doors, and the old one, well, you'll see in a second, we lack some interior trims and attention to detail, but that's okay. The inside of these cars are really a cool place to be. You've got things like your inbuilt trailer brake control, you've got your 4Auto, you've got all your mode selects down here on a dial. You've even got the Pro Trailer Tow mode, which is basically you hook up some yaw sensors to your trailer, and then when you're reversing it, you can use a dial on the dash here, which is going to basically, you just turn it left and the trailer will go left. You turn it right, the trailer will go right. And the car does the backwards thing. Sort of for boomers that sort of get confused when they start jackknifing trailers at boat ramps and caravan parks and that sort of thing. But again, if you are not 100% certain about backing up a big, taking a big load, as I know Andy the cameraman's pretty used to, then it is a really cool functional thing. A couple of other cool things that will carry over is that there is an electric sliding window in the back of the cab here, which is really cool. Obviously, the old girl, it's not electric, but it is still a sliding window, which is cool for things like if you've got dogs in the tub and you want to have them be able to put their head through and say, what's up? Cool if you're lugging lumber, timber to the shipping yard. I don't know what Americans do, but something like that. You can run it into the cab, you have a bit more extra space. Or also, because the aircon is a little bit average in that car, you can open up your corner windows, you can open up the back window, and it basically creates a freaking Bruce Highway wind tunnel in the car. It's pretty flash. Anyway, follow me. We're gonna go talk about the old one because it's gonna be pretty quick. In here I have nothing. Cup holder? No. Radio that works? No. Any sort of electrics? Also no. But it does have nostalgia and character. This is my only storage in the entire car, and somehow still works. And there is just red velour and chrome everywhere. Like, there's 3 different finishes, like hard plastic, vinyl, carpet, chrome, like, man, I don't know what they were thinking, but there is a vomit of red in here. That is a dual cab, this is a super cab. What does that mean? This actually can carry more people. Yeah, I know, crazy, right? There's a tiny little bench seat in the back, and you have these weird folding seats in the front, which means you get 3 Usos in the back, 3 Usos in the front. This is a 6-seat, 2-door vehicle. That is a 5-seat, 4-door vehicle. So, big dick energy, baby. And other than that, that's pretty much all this car has going for it. It is super, super basic in here, although some of the really cool little quirky features do work. Aircon still works, power steering works, even the vacuum operated cruise control on the steering wheel here still works. All the dash gauges are in miles per hour and miles per gallon and bald eagles versus, you know, freaking big gulp, I don't know, but it all works. It's really cool. And I think Ford probably not gonna like me saying this, but see if I care. This car has survived 40 years and being shipped around the world. I don't know if I can say the same about these brand new Fords that are coming out. 40 years is a long, long time, and there's a lot of electronics that could go wrong in that car. I mean, there's about 500 kilos worth of electronics if you look at the curb weights. That's a lot of stuff that could go wrong, you know what I mean? These are so simple, these cars, these old cars, and I guess that's why we love them. And I guess in a recent episode, you would have seen me ask, what is it about old cars that keeps you guys coming back? And I think it's not just the nostalgia, not just the character, not just the personality and the soul of these things, but I think it's the simplicity, because I have broken down in this a couple of times and always been able to fix it on the side of the road by jumping wires from one point to one point, by reconnecting something that's just fallen off a lug, or literally taking the starter motor out in the Supercheap Auto car park around the corner from my house. That, I'm sure, is going to be a nightmare of a job to do on something like that. So, you know, there's kind of beauty to that simplicity. The last thing to talk about is the rear end. Everyone loves a good bootay, and well, I think this has got that going for it. It is wide, the way that they've designed these tail lights, they've got blind spot monitoring built into them. The way it's all designed and stuff, I think really accentuates the width and the staunch sort of street cred and appeal of this car. Now, built-in tow bar, 4.5 ton towing. You've got all your trailer plugs. You've got the spots for all your yaw sensors and that sort of thing for the trailer backup towing and all that sort of stuff. But what I wanted to talk about quickly and compare the pair here is the tailgate. Now, you'll see that there is still a lot of body lines going through. Now, remember these body lines when we go and talk to the old one. Massive logos stamped into the back as well. Whilst it doesn't say Ford, you've still got a massive Ford badge and the F-150 embossed into the tailgate. They've always been really proud about their branding in the backs of these vehicles, and I think it's for good reason. This is a very practical tailgate on the Lariat too. You've got automatic down and automatic close, but one of the best, I think, look, is it a gimmicky feature? I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. Anyone that's ever loaded up a big vehicle's tub can probably appreciate this, because getting in and out of these things can suck, but not anymore. Built-in step, built-in handle, which means all you boomers, all you Sharons with your bad backs and your Karens with your bob cuts, you know, you're gonna be able to get in and out of this thing super easy. So having that built into the tailgate, like, is definitely a good thing. Anyway, moving on. Very cool, very good. It also electrically closes too, but I just don't know how to put it away, so don't worry about that. Coming over here. Remember how I said remember the body line? You got that same sort of reminiscent body line. They haven't strayed that far. They know that it works, so why change it? And I guess that's debossed and this is embossed, or this is embossed and that's debossed. I don't know. That one goes in, this one comes out, but you've got the big proud Ford lettering with the pinstripe paint. And well, we don't have, that doesn't open anymore, but we don't have steps to get in or out of this thing. But what we do have is character and patina. So I know which one I'd rather. Definitely the new one. Also tow bar. Also, you can just put a tow ball right here and tow straight off the rear bar. See if I care. Also, the ugly tow bar that is in the shed at the moment actually has a badge on it that says 10,000 pound towing, which is like 5 ton or something. So maybe you can tow 4.5. I don't know. This is cool. That's like a sewing machine. This is like a bazooka. Let's go to the front of the car. Both of these are blue, both are big, both are bold, and both are American. F-150 2025 Lariat, 1985 F-250 XLT Lariat. What are you picking? If you could only have one of these cars, which way are you swaying? Brand new, fancy, high-end luxury reliability, old, beaten up piece of I think I just answered my own question. God damn it. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed this. 40 years is a long ass time, and I think it's really cool to have exactly 40 years of different tech, different styling, different body, different everything. Ford back 40 years ago was a whole different company to what Ford is now. But I think it's really cool to see how many similarities and how many bits and pieces actually carry across from a stylistic point of view, from the old school days to the new school days. Either way, I love driving that, but I really love driving that. You can't beat old school character. I'm in team F-250 Bullnose. Comment on this episode what you would pick to drive every day, and hopefully you've enjoyed this. If you have any questions about either our big girl here, which is probably going to be for sale soon, so if you want it, make me an offer over 30 grand and we can talk, or that. What do you guys reckon? I love driving both of them, but I want to put it to you guys. If you have any questions about either or, drop in the comments too, and I will do my best to answer them. And if I've missed anything, or you think I could do a comparison on something else, also let me know. Anyway, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you next Thursday.